Hi, welcome to the live. Sorry, I'm just like straightening my wig whilst I'm on here. This is my first live, by the way. If you're new here, hello. I think I will stay till like yeah. Hi guys. Hi Chris. Hi Roblox Ways 9081. Welcome to my live, guys. Um, this is like my first live, and I think today I was feeling a bit like down. If you're new here, like I lost my sister. I lost my younger sister to suicide like 7 months ago. So in November, I lost my sister, and I think today it just felt very weird. Um, if you've lost somebody to suicide, or if you've lost someone in general, I don't know if you've gone like different stages of grief. And I think I'm definitely like in one of these stages, like where I feel like really numb. I think because my sister died by suicide, um, I'm in a space where I feel, I won't say lost in a way, because we've always had these conversations. Um, oh, I lost my aunt. Oh, I'm so sorry, Roblox. We've always had these conversations with my sister. Like even though my sister died by suicide, I feel like whenever I say that, a lot of people are always like kind of like shocked. But to me, working as a mental health nurse as it is, I used to have these conversations with my sister about, thank you. I used to have these conversations with my sister about like, if you go, what does that mean for us as a family? Like, if you go, um, like, what do you want us to do? And as weird as it sounds, I used to have conversation with her about how she would want to be buried and what she would want to do. And she had all these plans. And you almost think like at 25, like, why would you be thinking about taking your own life? But she definitely struggled with depression for a long time. Um, and I think for me, it's quite hard because I work as a mental health nurse and I deal with patients at work who have mental health issues. But to have to lose my sister to suicide, whilst I'm also a psychiatric nurse, it's been like really, really tough. Um, and I've struggled, like I've really struggled to like go back to work. And I think sometimes I have this guilt. Like initially when I went back to work, I was having this guilt like, why am I here? Um, oh, I'm so sorry about your brother, Roblox. Why am I here trying to help others, trying to listen to other people when my sister took her own life and I couldn't stop it, you know? Um, oh, I don't want to cry on this live. I really don't want to cry. I feel like I just needed to come on this live to talk about it, and I don't want to cry about her. You know, she took her own life, and I think I keep saying to myself that she took her own life because she got to a point where she couldn't hold it anymore, you know. Um, but I think sometimes I just have questions like, what about if she had stayed one more day, you know? Like, oh, thank you. Like, I keep saying to myself, what about if she had stayed one more day? You know, she would have felt different because she was getting support, you know. She was getting mental health support. She was trying, and she was a medical student. She was so smart. Um, so I think I keep getting like really conflict, like emotions. Um, Sometimes I feel confused, like, you know, like I'm gonna share something with you guys, right? I went to visit her at the cemetery a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, no, I am definitely living in her honor. Like since she passed away through suicide, I've opened a foundation in her name. It's a mental health foundation called the Kuzi Foundation. So, and we've already done our first event, like a walk in her memory. So I love that. But I was saying that sometimes, like when I go and visit a cemetery, dark humor, guys. Like I always think to myself, like if I if I open, like what about if I dig her out? You know, like I always think like if I go to the graveyard and I dig her out, like get up, you know. And her humor was like that, you know. Um, yeah. And she used to make these jokes when she was alive. She used to say like something like, "Oh, I hate this life. Like I can't believe like I would have to wake up every day and live this life." And it's, you know, that was her humor. But to think that she actually went, and you know what? It's true what they say. If you know somebody that's struggling with their mental health, it's true what they say in terms of like, um, oh, look at your like how you're welcome. Thank you. It's true what they say about like, when someone is struggling with their mental health, especially if they have like really dark thoughts to try to harm themselves and things like that, you always have to be wary about the times when they start being overly happy or overspending or doing things that are out of the ordinary, where you think like, oh my god, this person is so happy right now, what's going on, they're doing so well. It's true what they say, like those were usually the signs. Like I feel like the last couple of days before my sister took her own life, I'm always somebody that would know what she's going to do before she does it. And I think that's something that will always stay with me. Like, what did I miss? But then I'm also trying to be kind to myself in a way, like, how long was I going to continue to, like, you know, like, try to stop her from doing something? So it's just, my head is there. But in terms of grieving, in terms of like where I'm at, this is my first ever loss. I know some people in this life, you've said that, you know, you've lost your brother, you've lost your aunt. Um, it's the last choice. I tried a few times to commit. Oh, maths. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad you're here, and I really hope that you're in a better place, that, you know, you don't feel like taking your own life, you know. Like I really hope that, you know, you need to understand that you don't need to disappear to be heard. Like if you're watching this live and you're having these dark thoughts, I just want to let you know that you actually do not need to disappear to be heard. Like you do not need, you don't need to take your life for you to like make a statement. And I know like it's hard because not everyone is in your head. People don't understand how it is when you commit suicide. You don't always plan it. You just wake up and it happens. You feel like you're not in control. And I agree. I agree. And I think what differs from my sister is she was so open about it. Like even though she was on a mental health team, she was even having private psychiatrists, but she was very open about the thoughts, especially when they're a lot. And she was such a planner. Like we always knew she would go in November because November was a month where she also lost her best friend to suicide. So I understand that sometimes people just wake up and they've got these intense emotions, intense thoughts that they just want to go. Um, but I always used to say to my sister all the time, like, whenever you get to a point where you feel like you want to take your life, or whenever you get to a point where you feel like I'm done, just find something that keeps you going. And for my sister, thank you. For my sister, it was my son, you know. My boy was like her, yeah, yeah. Like my son was like her everything, right? So yeah. But that being said, she tried to hold on. I nearly jumped off a bridge just because I was playing with my friend on my friend and he called me 20 hours. I never spend time with my family because I got. Oh, I'm glad you're here as well. And like what I always say, like taking your own life, like harming yourself, I feel like that should be like the last option. Like I know a lot of people struggle with mental health, but I feel like I would hate for somebody to make such a permanent decision on a temporary emotion. Like for example, your friends calling you names or things like that. Things like that fluctuate. And I always feel like with grief, when you are gone, I almost feel like it transfers the pain to other people. So the people that love you, the people that care for you, they have to carry that pain. And I know sometimes when you're struggling with your mental health, it's so hard to even think that anyone cares. Because that's another thing. If you're a believer, if you pray, I feel like the enemy wants to make you feel like you're alone. And I think a lot of people who are depressed, who suffer from depression and anxiety, they almost always feel like there's no point. No one will care. Like it's better off if I'm not here. And that's a lie. I promise you, there is somebody out there, if you was not here today, that their life will be a mess. That their life will not be the same. And I'm definitely one of those people who's going through it that without my sister and the fact that she was the last born, I'm one of those people that I feel like without her here, I just feel lost. Grief is such a weird, weird thing. Like sometimes I feel okay. Sometimes I feel like, oh, she's probably gone on holiday. But then it's when I go to the cemetery and I realize like this is where you are. This is where you are laying right now. So yeah, grief can be really difficult. But I think my take on all of this and what I would want to do on all of this is to just keep raising awareness, keep speaking about the importance of, mental health, about, the importance of reaching out. He also took my bounty that took me 10 years to get with and he called me a terrible player. Oh dear. Okay. I'm so sorry about that, Roblox, but I just feel like the whole idea is to keep speaking out. Like you should never feel like you can't be here because you deserve to be here. You deserve good things. You deserve to have a good life just like everybody else. um so yeah, so that's just been a bit about my grief journey really, and I think that's what my channel is about really. I think trying to just, if you look at my other videos on my channel, I speak a lot on like mental health. I speak a lot on like self-development, on confidence, and just like kind of like standing up for yourself, you know and believing in yourself so that you don't let anyone say anything different about you and stuff like that. But Yeah, I'm definitely learning that every day is different, especially when it comes to grief. Like there is days that I wake up and I'm in such a good mood. Like I'm in such a good mood. And then it will be like the smallest thing that would like trigger me off. It'll be like the smallest thing that I'll probably think about her and I don't know, or I'll see something that reminds me of her. Hi, Dida Kelly. Yeah, I'll see something that reminds me of my sister, and it just throws me off. Or sometimes I see somebody like making a video on TikTok with their sister, or I see somebody, saying, "Oh, I did this with my sister," and it just makes me like realize that I don't have a sister anymore. Like, like it makes me realize that my sister is not here. And I think it's difficult when people ask you like, oh, so how did she die? And you're like, oh yeah, she took her own life. It then opens up a whole new, discussion around mental health. And like what I said before, it doesn't help that I am a mental health nurse and then I lost my sister to suicide. It's just it's hard to process. And I think that's why I'm struggling a lot to go back to work because again, the guilt of like I'm here, I'm supporting other people, she's not here, So and I love my job. Do you know what I mean? I've always loved my job, even if when she was here, I was her next of kin and I would support her in like all her appointments and her treatments. Um, and I think a part of me when she was here, I knew that the day would come when she would become successful in her attempts. And I think that's another thing that people don't talk about when it comes to mental health, that people who attempt to harm themselves when they're struggling with their mental health eventually sometimes do succeed. Um, and I think that's what was always my fear when it came to my sister was her succeeding. Um, 7 months on, I still miss her so, 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 so much. And this room that I'm in, this used to be a room. Um, ah, anyway, yeah. So yeah, I miss her so much. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, that being said, I don't know what I'm doing this video. I think I'm doing this video for myself because I think I've been holding on. I think I've been holding on a lot lately that I have not been talking about. Um, or maybe I think I've not been admitting how much I miss her, you know. And I think this is why another thing why I'm not shutting up about mental health and about like if you're struggling, talk, 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 talk. Speak to someone. And I think when you speak to someone, you're not speaking to someone in a hope that they will solve anything. Sometimes speaking to someone is just like to just get things out of your head so that you're okay for you, you know? Um, so yeah, if you're watching this and you're feeling like, you're struggling or whatever, just know that like your life is so amazing. You have so much to live for. Like, don't let the enemy tell you otherwise. And I feel like I wish my sister could have given it one more month. And I think that's just selfish of me because she had told me for years, like, I don't want to be here. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. I don't want to be here. So I just wished selfishly of me, I just wish she would have given it like one more day, you know? Um, but I'm learning to carry her um differently. I'm learning to like um love her in a different way. I'm learning to like um speak to her any chance that I get. I'm learning to like incorporate like um lessons from, from this grieving process, lessons from everything, really. So yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Sorry that I look crazy. It's because I'm straightening my wig. I just wanted to share that. And yeah, and thank you guys for joining my live. And I will try and do more of this. This is literally my first time here. So yeah. Bye guys.